What's up, everybody? Bobby here, and I wanted to read something to you in an article that I just came across regarding the placebo effect. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and get to that article right now because I want to give you the details. Chances are most people see pretty cool looking memes. They see an article that's attached to that meme and they don't really read it, but I wanted to take the time and read this to you. I may edit out some spots or I may just read it all the way through, but I want you guys to get this because it's actually pretty cool and it ties into what I have to talk about in previous videos. So let's go ahead and check that out. The name of the article is called How to Heal Yourself by Thought Alone by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Okay. The article goes on to read, when I wrote my latest book, I set out to explore the idea that it's possible for people to heal themselves of all sorts of conditions, even those considered incurable, without drugs or surgery, through thought alone. After all, the power of belief is so strong that drug companies routinely use double and triple blind, placebo-controlled studies to test new drugs because people taking placebos, substances like sugar pills, thinking they may be taking an active drug, often improve. Consider the following examples. A man who died not long after hearing he had incurable cancer, even though his autopsy revealed he'd been misdiagnosed. A woman whose long-term depression lifted so dramatically during her antidepressant drug trial that she was sure she was receiving an active drug, only to find out she was part of a placebo group. A handful of veterans severely hobbled by osteoporosis who gained pain-free mobility after a surgeon performed sham surgery, making small incisions in the knee and then sewing them back up without doing anything else. Given these cases and many, many more like them, I wanted to see if I could teach people to believe in themselves instead of it's something outside of themselves and get the same kind of dramatic results. If I could demystify the placebo effect by explaining how and why it works, I wondered, could people learn to consciously do it on purpose? The answer I found is a resounding yes. Participants in my workshops who learn a model of self-transformation that combines the latest findings from both neuroscience and quantum physics have been able to heal themselves of wide variety of disorders. I've seen conditions like thyroid disease, spinal cord injury, multiple sclerosis, rare degenerative bone disease, Parkinson's disease, and even brain tumors disappear. I know that sounds too amazing to be true, but I assure you, it's real. In my advanced workshops, I bring in scientists who take very sophisticated measurements of brain waves, heart rhythms, and even urine and saliva levels of certain hormones to document these changes in real time. So how did these participants change their state of being? As long as you're thinking the same thoughts, they'll lead to the same choices, which cause the same behaviors, which create the same experiences, which produce the same emotions, which in turn drives the same thoughts. Neurochemically, you stay the same. You could say that you're always reminding yourself of who you think you are. But we know that thanks to neuroplasticity, we are not hardwired to think the same thoughts in the same way for the rest of our lives. We can learn to create new neural pathways and make new neural connections so that we can break the habit of being our old selves. These changes in our brains can lead to changes in our bodies. Thanks to the relatively new science of epigenetics, which torches the old school idea that our genes are our destiny. While you may indeed have a genetic tendency towards developing certain diseases and conditions, the latest research shows that by learning to change your neural wiring, the way you think, it's possible to turn off those undesirable genes and to signal new, healthier genes to turn on. The key is the technique called mental rehearsal. This is where you imagine a desired outcome in such a way that you make your inner thought more real than your outer environment. If you combine a clear intention of the new future you want with an elevated emotion, such as joy, or gratitude, you can give the body a taste of this future experience in the present moment. If you make it feel real enough, your brain won't know the difference and will fire new neurons and make new connections until it starts to look as if the event has actually taken place. In a nutshell, all possibilities exist in the present moment. So if you choose a new future for yourself from this field of infinite possibilities, and you successfully use mental rehearsal to make it feel real enough times, it's possible to actually observe that future into reality through making epigenetic changes in your DNA. You literally become someone new because both your brain and your body will no longer identify with the old self. And then you become your own placebo. More good news. This amazing technique can work for anyone. You don't have to be a neuroscientist or even a spiritual master to make this seemingly impossible possible. Try it yourself and you will see. So it was a pretty interesting article, wasn't it? I actually think that our thoughts can and will always create our realities. And in the training that I have available to you in these little videos that I do, or in the training program that I put together, it helps you to realize how to use visualization, how to understand what you think creates the reality that you live in, and gives you the tools necessary to take back your personal power to move yourself in a direction of whatever it is that you want for yourself, so you can find that strongest version within you that you've always wanted to express to the rest of the world. I hope this finds everybody well, and we'll talk to you in the next video. Check out the video link below. I think you'll like it. Dr. Joe Dispenza, and we'll talk soon. Take care. Peace.